Hi everybody, welcome to my channel Ab Fab. My name is Denise and this video is just kind of a chit chat. I just thought it's been a while, and yes, I did order stuff on the Sephora VIB sale, but I didn't go in stores, so they are sending it to me. So when it gets here, I don't really know, just because the last time I did that, it was, took about 2 weeks. But it just took forever. Anyways, I get the free shipping. So, if you want your package sooner, then you pay for the expedited shipping. I did not. I took advantage of the free shipping. So there we have it. It's a chit chat video. So just kind of grab some snacks and a nice drink and something cozy, like maybe you got one of those onesies or those, what do they call it? Those big, heavy, weighted things. You see them on the infomercial. You know the ones I'm talking about. I will insert a picture. You know the kind I'm talking about. But anyways, I was up here in my makeup room, as I often am, and I got inspired to just kind of try to do sort of like a tequila sunset eyeshadow look. And then I kind of just thought to myself, well, I'm here, may as well just pop in and say hi. There's actually it's been a really full week, as it has for everybody, and typical when I am kind of just feeling like, just getting cozy and being away from work, I just get into my hoodies. So most of the time you see me in my hoodies when I'm shooting these videos. So I do apologize, but I have never said this is a fashion channel, which you would never see me be doing a look of the day with my clothes, because I basically go from hoodies and comfy pants and jeans to a uniform, which is scrubs at work, and then back again. That's me. That's what I do. So, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk. I'd seen some of my girlfriends here on YouTube and my friends out there in the virtual world, albeit it's really pretty much the same. A friend is a friend. And, I noticed some people were posting just things that we all experience, like this total exhaustion, this total fatigue going into wave 2 and wave 3 of the COVID, thinking like how surreal it is that, if you remember, we started this back in March of 2020, and it is already like mid second week, going into third week in April pretty soon, and we're dealing with wave number 3, at least for us here in Western Canada. And don't mind my hair, because this is my weekend, everyday crazy hair. Was the girlfriend of mine that she posted, I think it was on Instagram, maybe Facebook, maybe TikTok, I don't really know. But she was just saying, she was feeling really under the weather. I don't know if she meant that in a kind of like a physical way, just being tired and mentally tired, but I could just totally relate. Anytime any of my girlfriends here on YouTube or in real life talk about that kind of exhaustion and fatigue, obviously I can relate. I think my job is in a hospital, and we work various shifts, of course, and my job also requires that when you do the late shift, you're on call. And I've been in it since the beginning of COVID, since the big kind of lockdowns. And yeah, it's been really tough. It's been really difficult to kind of just see so many sick people. But this wave 3 that we're experiencing is it's kind of pushing me mentally and physically to my limits, to be honest. Like, I feel already super exhausted and tired. Plus, during that whole process between basically March of 2020 and now, I had to say goodbye to my mom and see her finish her life struggling with this rare cancer that she got diagnosed with 2 years ago, and lost her. And anyways, I'm not unique in that regard. Again, many of my friends and YouTube friends and family and millions of people in the world have lost many, many, many loved ones this past year. So that's not unique. If anything, more of us together collectively have really felt the loss of loved ones, certainly during this whole COVID worldwide pandemic. It's been quite oppressive, that just the thought of how many people feel kind of the same way I do. And so this, again, is not a video to feel sorry for myself or anything like that. It's just kind of, I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to touch base and talk. And then I was like, oh, I could do a video about what's my current like top 10 spring favorites, or I could do a video about my highlighter collection, or I could do, a tutorial on makeup look. I've got lots of great ideas. I just unfortunately am a little short on the energy side of things. So as usual, this last year, I've often begged all of my subscribers to just bear with me, as I'm sure you can relate in your own personal life. And the odd time I get inspired and then I pop on and I say hello. But that doesn't mean that I'm not, that I'm not out there giving as much love and attention to my fellow YouTubers and other content creators, because I really do try. And of course, because makeup and YouTube, Instagram, for me, they are huge, huge loves for me. They're my hobby. Like I think my friend Christine Lamonde said, they're so cathartic. I mean, putting makeup on, and it really is. Most people that are on here have this massive love for makeup and skincare and all those lovely things. So that's why we do it. But yeah, I know that also this video is not as interactive as doing a live, or if you do a live on Instagram or Facebook. But, I hope that you'll leave a comment down below and you'll really sort of reach inside yourself and kind of share a story or share an experience or something, because I think sometimes when we just talk about it collectively as a community, it also helps us to kind of de-stress and just feel validated and in community with other people, because that's the thing with stress and fatigue, whether it's mental or physical or emotional, is oftentimes you can feel very isolated, even though when you look around, you see there are so many people that are suffering the exact same way. And they are. I mean, unless you're completely being irrational, you'd know that there's no way there's not other people feeling the same way as you do. So that was kind of the motivation behind the video. And then, of course, so I worked all last week, and then I had the weekend off, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday was, in case you didn't know, it was Prince Philip's funeral, and that was 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So for me, it meant not having a sleep in, and I kind of thought, like, do I want to wake up enough to care about watching, the whole funeral unload, or should I just wait till later, have a good sleep in, and then kind of watch it? And I decided that I was going to set my alarm, and not because I know Prince Philip personally. I don't know Prince Philip personally, of course, but it was one of the things my mom and I used to do. And, so weddings, Princess Diana and Sarah Ferguson, Princess Sarah Ferguson, excuse me, births of babies, like any royal announcements, the Diamond Jubilee, all of those things, the Queen Mom's funeral. We always, when we were together, we would make sure that we would stay up if it was early in the morning and we'd watch it. So I kind of felt like, in a way, that I was doing it as if my mom in spirit was by my side. And actually, it was quite an emotional funeral for me, just because I was remembering those feelings about my mom while I was watching it. But I think, I wasn't concentrating like, oh, I got to see if Prince William and Prince Harry are talking together, because, we heard through the BBC and all the British tabloids and newspapers, and, that Peter Phillips, which is Princess Anne's son, was actually going to be standing in between, because they were going to be walking behind the casket, which is part of royal protocol. And so everybody can remember a time, or maybe you can't, maybe you're younger, but when Harry and William's mom, Princess Diana, died, and they were walking behind, and people were saying after, like, how horrible, to have these young boys, so traumatized, walking behind their mother's casket. And I mean, yes, I think like Prince Harry was very, very young then, but it was interesting to know that that was part of royal sort of heritage, like part of the pomp and pageantry of having those kind of estate funerals when you're a royal. Clearly your life is not really just completely your own when you're a public servant of the people, right? Which in essence, that's what they are. They might be very wealthy landowners, and by title, it's something else to be part of the royal family. But really just look at the Queen. I mean, she has been the longest reigning monarch, and her entire life and marriage, for the most part, other than what we don't see behind closed doors, was not her own. And but anyways, whether you like the Queen, I was thinking about the stress, the fatigue, the sadness that this last year plus has brought the world and so many of us. And I think one of the saddest and most poignant pictures that that I kept seeing over and over after I watched the funeral was when Queen Elizabeth went into St. George's Cathedral as part of the procession and sat alone across, from her family on the other side. And somebody, whoever was there, was taking pictures. And it was hard because all the royal family, all the attendees wore black, which would be protocol. But she also had like a black hat on. So she had a mask on, and then she had a hat on. And when her head was bowed, you couldn't see her eyes. And they always say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And it wasn't that I wanted to see her shattered sadness in her eyes. I mean, nobody wants to do that. They were married for 73 years. And I mean, she fell madly in love with Philip when she was 13, when she first met him at, like some kind of family outing type thing, and just was so smitten with him. And I just thought it was just like so incredibly sweet. And if you look back on old footage, you'll see, I mean, anytime she was with Prince Philip, I mean, her smile, she actually has and had a really great smile. And you could just see her genuine, absolute love and admiration when she would look at him and smile. And if you don't believe me, just go back and look at the old footage. There is some really beautiful tributes to their very long love and marriage together, and it's worth celebrating and talking about, because how many people make it with the same life partner for that many years. So it was just so touching to see some of the tributes, and it was so crushingly sad. If I do find a picture, I will also be inserting it into the video so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But probably the saddest moment was to see her just sitting alone, because she had always been, from the moment she was Queen of England, she has been accompanied by Prince Philip. So what an incredibly just sad day. Not a surprising day. I mean, Prince Philip was 99, the Queen turns 95 this coming Wednesday. Not a surprise, but needless to say, an incredibly sad day. So many of us, including the Queen, in such a public forum, so many of us have had our lives changed forever. So it just got me thinking about, just the stress of everything that we've all been going through the last few years. It's been really, really incredible. And yeah, and that's it. So that's all I wanted to say about that's really, I wanted to throw that in about the royal funeral for Prince Philip, just because I'm just curious as to know. So please leave down below if you watched it, if you care about the royals or you don't care. This is completely a non-judgmental sort of comment section. So definitely let me know down below. Also, let's talk a little bit now, back to makeup, about the Sephora sale. So, typical of the Sephora sale, you know, they have, at least when you go online, you know, they've got all these different codes that you can apply. I often think that you can apply multiple codes. You can't apply multiple codes. You certainly can't apply them when you're already getting your VIB Rouge or your VIB or your Beauty Insider discounts. You cannot. You can only apply that code. And so anyways, I did place an order, like I said, you know, kind of started off being very practical because there was a couple of things that I already had that I exclusively get from Sephora that I cannot purchase elsewhere. And then I was like, okay, I've got to get this, I got to get that. And then I was like, oh, I need this. Anyways, I think I did pretty good. I usually have around $100 budget. I try not to go over that. I try not to buy anything that's too crazy because, you know, I really enjoy all my makeup, but I do consciously try to use what I have. I know it's even this eyeshadow look today. I mean, I would never in a million years wear this kind of bright color or eyeshadow at work. Clearly, most times I'll just put MAC Painterly Pot on, or I'll just use a bronzer in my crease, and that is my work eyeshadow look. But, you know, every so often you get sort of really inspired and you just want to be creative and have a little fun. So that's what I did. And this eyeshadow look, like I said, I call it my Tequila Sunrise eyeshadow look just because there's some oranges, some beautiful tans and pinks and a little purple, and there's a little iridescent sort of coloring there. So, and that was like my Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. And, you know, I bought that last year and barely get to use it. So anyways, it was really fun. But yeah, you know, so I put in this order anyways, $100 budget, and I really try to stick to it. And then I just picked up a couple of little pieces and things that I wanted. But I don't know if it's just me and kind of like my, you know, mindset, but usually I go gaga crazy for any type of like new eyeshadow palettes. And I figured of anything, that was going to be the biggest, you know, spring launches from the bigger, you know, brands, because let's face it, that's really all that people are seeing is, you know, is just this third of your face. And I was really quite surprised when I finally got on the Sephora website and I thought, you know, okay, I better start catching up with a few like what's recommendations for a couple of big YouTubers that I watch and what's on the Sephora website. And other than the Circa Loca palette by Natasha Denona, there wasn't any really huge, not in Sephora, there was no huge, big spring eyeshadow palette launches. I think, you know, Tarte had that beautiful muted one, but that was, you know, I guess that was kind of a spring palette, but too many of the same colors for me, and I really do like Tarte. I think that they make some really wonderful products, and I thought they were all usable products, but you know, I have like a similar type of eyeshadow palette to those shades, so I wasn't going to repurchase that. I thought that the Huda Beauty, the smaller 9 eyeshadow palettes that came out with the chocolate, the toffee, and the caramel ones, those were interesting, but for me, those colors don't scream spring summer. Chocolate, caramel, toffee, they scream fall winter. So I don't know if that's just me because, you know, obviously I'm so fair. Those are going to be ones I'll be interested in the fall. So other than the Circa Loca, which was definitely a very, very bright spring summer color palette, the Tartelette, you know, the nice shaded new palette they came out with, that was new. What was the other one? Oh, Rare Beauty. So Rare Beauty had that one, you know, it looked really nice. And, you know, I didn't look at the price, but here's the thing with those shape of eyeshadow palettes. Like she did it in a moon, you know, crescent moon. I'll try to insert a picture, you know what I'll be talking about. But I kind of just thought to myself, you know, I hate having to put my eyeshadow brushes into these awkwardly shaped pans. I either like them round or I like them square, sometimes rectangular if they're decently laid out, but I'm even kind of getting away from the whole Urban Decay, dare I say it, with the tin rectangular palettes. For me, I like round or square, you know. I don't like triangular. I don't like too thin rectangular. I certainly don't like half moon shapes. I mean, I just think that that's awkward, and it makes me feel like you're not really getting very much in that pan either. So maybe because it's just a smaller geometric shape, because I never actually look at the full weight of a palette, which would be more the intelligent thing to do, but just by aesthetics, which is oftentimes what I first get drawn to, I think to myself, yeah, there was some nice eyeshadows in that Selena Gomez Rare Beauty palette, eyeshadow palette. But again, I was just like, I don't think I'm going to lay down my money for that. And as far as the Natasha Denona, it's probably one of my most favorite brands is Natasha Denona for myself personally. But again, I was just like that whole Circa Loco palette. Like I've got plenty enough between my two Jaclyn Hill palettes. I've got the Tati Beauty palette. I've got the Morphe, what is it? They Dare to Create the Mega palette with eyeshadows, and then a number of other smaller eyeshadow palettes in my eyeshadow drawer. I just think like none of them really just sort of like, just screamed by me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my thought process. Maybe you guys are already all over that, but not like previous other spring summer launches. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a lull and that they're gearing up for a really amazing summer launch. I'm hoping, because then hopefully more of us will be vaccinated and immunized, and that we can eventually, very slowly, but eventually get back to hopefully somewhat of a normal life. It would be really nice. It seems like it's been a very, very long time that you can, just hug your friends and hang out and not have to worry about 6 feet of distance and not traveling and washing everything you touch and, being afraid of someone if they cough or they sneeze. Like, I really feel sorry, so sorry, believe me, for people because I work in a hospital if you have seasonal allergies, because wow, I mean, people actually have to say, it's okay, I just have some allergies. Like, it's horrible. It's like if you were ever standing in a line in a store and you see somebody sneeze or start coughing, like, oh my goodness, they might have like something caught in their throat or have like a dry throat. They might need just some water. Maybe they need some Benadryl. It's just like, it's crazy. And people treat them like they've got Ebola or something. So, it would be so nice, wouldn't it, if we could just all get back to just sort of the way life was before. You never realize just those simple little pleasures and luxuries, just how much you miss those simple things when you can't have them anymore. So let's all just hope that that is the case and that these variants of the virus do not continue to manifest and get worse. Let's just hope that we can get to a level where we just don't have to do that anymore. So that's my wish. And I don't know how to even end this video, just because there's really no products, nothing to say. It was just kind of a mishmash of all kinds of hot topics, I guess, with a little bit of the coronavirus thrown in there. You have to say it. You can't say the full word, because apparently if you put it in your title or you say the full thing, apparently somebody says YouTube and Instagram, all the social media platforms are trying to like clamp down on that because they don't want any misinformation spread around. I understand that. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Just the virus. The virus is good enough. You know exactly where I'm coming from. Anyways, I'll just end this video. I really just hope you guys all have, as I often say at the end of all my videos, an absolutely fabulous, fabulous week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and make good decisions in your life. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, everybody. Take care.